Dude, I don't want to do this.
Just do it.
They've already done filming. This is silly.
Or maybe the next one is called Deadpool and Spider-Man and literally everyone except Wolverine.
Who are you? Like, what? That's both hurtful and spiteful.
Just ask the question.
Why are you sitting... Hey, Kevin. Hey, D23. Hope you're all having a great time. I just wanted to check in, just totally unprompted, and just wondering if you might need some help. Rounding out
the cast.
Rounding out the cast? Dude, they've got like 28 people. Why the hell do they need us?
Because we're the golden ones. We're special.
We're not special.
Now follow the script.
Okay. So anyway, if you guys need some help rounding out the cast, I'd love to join. And I don't know, I might be able to convince Ryan to appear in Avengers Doomsday, but no pressure. I hate you so much, man.
I know, me too.
Welcome, players, to the next level. Here on the BatmanDrew Podcast, we believe that life is an immersive experience, best lived one campaign at a time. Every week, we load up a new save file and dive deep into the most interesting worlds across video games, movies, and all things fandom, all brought from the perspective of just an everyday regular dude like me. Today's mission is locked and loaded and ready for launch, so grab your controllers and remember, your campaign starts now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the BatmanDrew Podcast. I am your host, the BatmanDrew, and today we're talking about Avengers Doomsday. Now, you saw in the opening, if you missed D23, then you missed a pretty good presentation by Marvel. And you saw that video of Hugh Jackman kind of, talking about it or begging with Deadpool about reprising his role in Avengers Doomsday. I think clearly, I think it's been confirmed out there by people who know the storyline of Avengers Doomsday and some of the things that go on, that they are going to be back, right? We're going to have Deadpool, we're going to have Wolverine back for Avengers Doomsday. And we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit, but I want to be able to really give you my raw thoughts on Avengers Doomsday and this new trailer that dropped at D23, because I think there's a lot to unpack here for it being just a quick 2-minute trailer. Some footage we've seen already, some new to it. I believe this was the trailer that people saw at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you got to see that and that was your first experience with Avengers Doomsday, I sincerely mean this from the bottom of my heart. Fuck you, because that was a great trailer and I would have loved to have seen it in Hall H. But with that all being said, let's talk about my thoughts a little bit about what my concerns were going into Avengers Doomsday and how this trailer really kind of helped change the narrative of what I was thinking about this movie, right? So going into it, I had a fear that this was just going to be a overcrowded sandbox prioritizing action figures over plots, right? Like, you remember when you were a kid, you would just get all your toys out and they would just have this big battle royale and you would just have them fight and go against each other and with no real purpose, right? You're just a kid. You're wanting to play with all your toys. You want to see Batman fight Iron Man. You want to see, the Power Rangers fight the Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. And so you just combine all your toys together, have them fight, and just have a fun time, right? And that's what I was worried this movie was going to be, because as much as I want to see Captain America come back, as much as I want to see Thor in a movie and the Fantastic Four meeting the X-Men and things like that, as much as I want to see all these characters come together to be able to have this really cool movie where they're all fighting and you get to see all this kind of combat, what was the narrative story going to be? What was the reason for us going to Avengers Doomsday? Because this wasn't the original plan, right? You remember that we were going to have the Kang Dynasty, and that all kind of fell to shit. So what was the original plan going to look like? And then how did we shift into Avengers Doomsday? And was this just Marvel saying, oh, shit, things aren't working out, we need to really gain all that money? And they decided to put all their characters back in a movie together with no real rhyme or reason. The way this trailer was structured, and the emotional takes in this trailer from Sue Storm, from Reed Richards, even from the line, and we'll talk about here in a minute, from Doom talking about how hell answers to me, for I am Doom. This has started to pivot the narrative for me and my concerns about this not having any kind of raw character or emotional stakes, right? Sue opening up the trailer, crying, talking about how she didn't realize that Doom was so broken. And then you follow that up with Reed Richards, asking, like, Victor, did you do this? When you're seeing all the destruction around you, Victor, did you answer me, Victor? And he starts yelling and getting emotional. And you can see the coldness coming back in the trailer from Doom's eyes. I think that this really shows that, at least for some of these characters, there's going to be some real rhyme and reasons for them doing what they're doing. And we'll talk about where I hope that kind of goes here in a second. But let's start with RDJ. Holy cow, right? Like, so the look of Doom is massive. It's broad and physically imposing, especially in the tunic and the armor. Like this Doom demands room rather than having this sleek, tech armor like Iron Man had, right? Like it's a difference in presence that Robert Downey Jr. is giving to Doom. And honestly, he's really slaying away the ghost of Tony Stark. I gotta tell you, the voice and the eyes alone, the altered eye color kind of changing to green, being completely masked behind the face armor of Doom, and then the voice, the Latverian accent, honestly, pitch perfect. It was very theatrical and intimidating enough that if you went in blind, I don't know if you would instantly know this was Robert Downey Jr. And I think that is super important. We all know that it's Robert Downey Jr., right? We all saw the Hall H presentation a couple of years ago at Comic-Con. We know he's coming back to play Doom. Why? I don't know, right? Like what there's got to be some kind of multiversal reason here. But with all that being said, holy hell, if all we knew was Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, from the trailer anyways, we'll see how the movie pans out, but from the trailer, this was fantastic. No pun intended for the Fantastic Four. But in the trailer, this looked really good. He isn't just playing a variant of Iron Man. He has fully inhabited Victor Von Doom. And for those of us who've been waiting a long time, like myself, for a really good on-screen presence for Doctor Doom, from the trailer at least, it looks like they're going to deliver it. And honestly, I can't wait. I think he looks phenomenal as Doctor Doom. We've gotten some glimpses, in some of the other trailers and artwork that's come out and stuff like that. But this one, especially with the line, so Doom-esque, with the line of like, hell answers to me, for I am Doom. Holy cow. Like that gave me goosebumps. Like I watched this trailer like 10 times because of that line, right? But I do think that there are some things that this movie needs to be able to do. For the casual audience, for example, casual moviegoers don't know 60 plus years of comic rivalry between Reed, Sue, and Victor. So they're going to have to, even though you had the other Fantastic Four movies, you've got to understand, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a nerd like me and you've seen all of them, right? But for the casual moviegoer, maybe all they know is just the MCU proper. They don't know that there's this emotional relationship, friendship between these three characters. And I think that you're going to have to be able to solve that a little bit, right? So you see in the trailer, Sue's grief, for Doom and how he is, right? I think that needs to serve as a narrative bridge. I think that, I don't want 20 minutes of a flashback or exposition or anything like that. I just think during that monologue, maybe you just establish their shared past, right? A couple of glimpses of them from their world and kind of, what that looked like for Doom and for Reed and for Sue. I think you need to be able to show that there is a reason we should care about the dynamic between Sue and Richard and Von Doom, because it's got to set up for, wherever and whenever that line from Pedro Pascal is delivered as Reed confronting Victor, saying, "Victor, did you do this?" Right? Like that isn't going up to a bad guy and say, "Hey, why did you do this? What is your reason?" And things like that. This is a friend. This is someone who loves this man and concerned about this man and what he's did. And he's like, "Victor, did you do this?" To me, you've got to be able to give us reasons in that moment as a casual moviegoer to understand why this would be so emotional for Reed and that relationship between him and Victor. And I think you've got to be able to establish that somehow quickly in this movie, so we're not wasting a bunch of time on it, because you didn't set it up in Fantastic Four First Steps, right? The only thing we got Victor Von Doom related was the Latveria empty chair at that World Nation Union meeting or whatever they did in the movie, right? So you got to be able to give a reason to be able to be grounded with the Fantastic Four dynamic between them and Victor Von Doom. Clearly, there's going to be some emotional stakes for these characters. You see that in the trailer, but you got to be able to explain the why. Here's my concern, though, right? And this has kind of been my concern for a while, but I want to reiterate this because I do think that it can, really derail this movie pretty quick. Is the cameo trap versus narrative purpose, right? The danger zone here is that you've got to be able to avoid the Ready Player One type trap. Ready Player One was cool. It was awesome. I loved the movie. And it was meant to have just a bunch of cameos. Just a bunch of mindless pop culture, roll calls. But what are we doing in this movie with all these characters, and why are they coming together, right? There's got to be some sort of incursion, Jesus, that is happening, causing these characters to have to come together to fight each other and to face doom. But why these characters, right? Like why were these specific characters chosen? Were they chosen because they thought, they were going to get the biggest pop whenever we finally get into, doing the, get into the movie, right? Like where everyone's like, we really wanted to see Cyclops. So, let's go ahead and make sure that we really give him this big, optic blast scene because it's going to be super cool. Then obviously with Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm fully convinced that they're going to be in this movie. Why? Is it just because it's Deadpool and Wolverine? Which, hey, I'm okay with that because I love Deadpool and Wolverine. But I want there to be a narrative reason and purpose for them being there, because I don't want to just have all these characters together for some kind of beat-em-up movie without there being something to move the MCU forward, a narrative reason to move the MCU forward, because I'm just sick of the MCU throwing out trash. And this isn't me dogging on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Look, that they could do far better than I could, as far as telling their narrative stories. But you've got to admit, this last phase has been choppy, and most of it has been garbage from a story purpose. A narrative line, right? So I want to know why these characters, and if Wade and Logan do show up, is their presence just a, hey, look who we brought to the party kind of gag? Or is it going to have a true impact on the movie and how it's going, right? I don't want it just to be, what this would be the worst thing for me, right? And then this is kind of an extreme, I get it. But what I don't want is to be sitting there in that emotional scene, right? And Sue's talking to who, who's, I guess, is developed into the Avengers in this movie. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to call themselves, right? But when you get all the heroes together and they're all talking, I don't want to have Sue in this emotional moment crying about Victor Von Doom and the situation that they find themselves in. And then all of a sudden, you get a portal that opens up, and it's Deadpool. Be like, oh, I'm in the wrong fucking universe. And, Logan's like, oh, no, I recognize these people. And then he grabs them and pulls them away, right? I don't want some little 8 to 10, 30-second clip or cameo, a pop in of these characters just for shits and giggles. Like, I don't. I would rather you not have the characters in there at all than just have them pop in for some kind of lame cameo. And maybe I'm the minority on that. I don't know. But, I mean, they're clearly going to be in this movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Because you're not going to have Deadpool crash San Diego Comic-Con like you did. And you're not going to have this video. If there was any doubt, this video from Hugh Jackman at D23, I mean, they're going to be in this movie. If not, why would you do it? It's kind of a weird gag to me. Almost as weird, by the way, and we're talking about Avengers Doomsday here. We're not talking about the X-Men casting. But it would be almost as bad as that really lame troll of Adam Driver playing Magneto that he did in that video. That, to me, that gag didn't hit very well at all. But I don't want these characters in this universe, in this world, if there isn't going to be a true reason for it. Like, you have such a great run of characters that you were already using in the MCU. So if you're bringing in the X-Men from the Fox universe, if you're bringing in, obviously the Fantastic Four, we're on a different world in the multiverse, but they are MCU proper. But if you're bringing in these characters together to be able to fight Doom in this epic threat, if there's not a narrative reason for them to be in this movie, you could have done anything you would have wanted to from the characters you already had. I just don't. Again, I don't want any kind of weird cameos that don't push the narrative of the MCU forward. But let's talk about what it looks to be Doom's true motivation. Cynthia Von Doom, who is the mother of Victor Von Doom. In the comics, there's been different storylines, but in the comics, basically in a nutshell, she was, her soul of Cynthia Von Doom is trapped by Mephisto in hell, basically, right? And the comic lore is that Doom isn't broken; he's just ambitious. He needs the power to be able to, to go and save his mother from hell. And to me, that's such an intriguing storyline from the comics. And I don't know if they plan on doing that in this movie, but I will tell you, when he says, "Hell answers to me, for I am Doom," that shit hits harder if it's literally what he's doing to be able to try to free his mother. And I mean, you see when Sue talks about him being hurt, you see the mural of what we're assumed is Victor and his mother on the wall, right? And yeah, I mean, listen, as a guy who has struggled for years with the death of his mother, I get it. Like, losing your mom can be extremely difficult. So even if they don't do the trapped in hell aspect of this, there's clear narrative reason for Doom to be hurt and to be broken. But how do you take that hurt and that brokenness and translate it into, I'm just going to destroy the entire world or universe, right? I think we're going to get aspects of him trying to save his mother from hell. I think we're going to get a really good adaptation of Mephisto in this. And I think that whatever Doom is doing between Doomsday and Secret Wars has got to lead to the salvation of his mother. Because why else is he doing it? And I think that when Reed delivers that line, like, "Victor, did you do this?" And then it cuts to Von Doom, to Victor Von Doom, and you see the coldness in his eyes. Like, there's got to be a reason for it. And I mean, for me, if I was in that position, I had the opportunity to be able to save my mother from hell, from Mephisto, I mean, nothing would stop me, right? And clearly nothing's going to stop Victor Von Doom here. So I hope that they bring some of those aspects into it, because it would also usher in kind of a supernatural element to the MCU that we really haven't gotten, right? We kind of thought we were going to get that with, the introduction of Blade. But as Wesley Snipes pointed out in Deadpool and Wolverine, there's only one Blade, and there's ever only going to be one Blade. And clearly Marvel took that literally because, they scrapped the Blade movie by Mahershala Ali. So I just think that I hope that we get some kind of elements of that story in this, because I think it would be cool. I think it would be fun. And I also, well, not fun, I don't know about fun, but I think it would be a great way to narratively drive the story forward. And that's what I'm hoping for out of this movie. And if I went into this trailer, watching this trailer with zero hope that it was going to be anything more than just a Sandbox action figure type movie, the trailer left me with a glimmer of hope that there's actually going to be true narrative purpose to this movie. And to be frank, I'm excited for that. I'm excited. I was excited anyways, but I think that this trailer definitely pushed my excitement forward, not only for the action combat, and hell, we didn't even talk about the Sentinels yet. How cool was that? For the Sentinels that are kind of, broken and buried in the ground, they all of a sudden come back, and you get that shot, the sun behind Doom and his arms out, and you see the Sentinels behind him. Like that was visually, this movie's going to be so freaking good. And I personally, I can't wait. I honestly can't. I think it's going to be a great movie. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the storyline plays out, because this movie has given me hope that there's going to actually be a storyline for Avengers Doomsday. My question to you, though, is if this is a setup, if Doomsday and Secret Wars is a setup, if Doomsday is a setup for Secret Wars, man, podcasting's hard, guys. If Doomsday is a setup for Secret Wars, how's it going to end? Is it going to end with all of our heroes losing like it did in Infinity War? Is that going to feel repetitive if that happens again in a two-part Avengers movie? We have all the Avengers lose, and there's just to come back and win. Or is there going to be maybe kind of a bittersweet partial victory to this? I personally don't think there's going to be any victories or losses. I think that you're going to get a lot of cool action and stuff, but as opposed to the end of Infinity War, where you had this really amazing closing battle at Wakanda, I don't know if you're going to get this here. I think you're going to get some kind of battles. Obviously, you see them fighting in the trailers, but I think that this is going to be a very dialogue-driven movie. I really do. I don't think that we've seen, I honestly don't even think that what we're looking at, in the trailer where, Doom and the destruction and you have Reed and everything, I don't even think that that's in the first, I think that's somewhere living in the first two acts of the movie. I think we're completely blind as what the third act is going to look like in this movie from anything we've seen out of trailers so far. So I'm looking forward to it. What do you guys think? Again, how do you feel like the end of Avengers Doomsday is going to end? And are you like me? Are you were you concerned about the story of Avengers Doomsday and lack of it? And did this trailer kind of change your mind? I'd love to be able to know your thoughts. So make sure to comment down below. Remember to always like and subscribe, and more importantly, share, because good friends share shitty podcasts with good friends, and that's what we are. We're a shitty podcast that you can share with your best friend, especially if their name is Victor Von Doom. Thank you guys for joining me today. I know it's hard to make time for the things that we love, so the fact that you stuck around today to hear my ramblings on the Avengers Doomsday trailer truly means the world to me, and I just want to say thank you. I'll catch you guys again at the same BatmanDrew time on the same BatmanDrew channel. Thanks, guys.